500 years ago, in the high Andes Mountains, a story began to circulate of a place with more gold than anyone had ever heard of. Spanish conquistadors called it El Dorado and searched for it for centuries. To them, it wasn't a myth. They believed it was real because of the astonishing amounts of gold they really did find in South America. During the 15th century, the Incas built the largest, richest empire in pre-colonial America. It stretched for some 3,000 miles, from what's now Ecuador to Chile. The emperor of this vast kingdom was worshipped as a descendant of the sun, the god of the Incas. He was surrounded in luxury, and every day he was dressed in golden ornaments. To the Spaniards, who heard tales of his riches, his gold was their dream come true. But the gold was never enough for the conquistadors. Rumors of a golden city hidden in the jungle became an obsession. Even today, it lures treasure seekers to risk their lives in search of it. They knew that gold was sacred to the Incas, who used it to create beautiful objects in honor of their god, the sun. But gold had a very different meaning for the conquistadors. The legend of El Dorado persisted because the conquistadors desperately wanted to believe in it. Likewise, the Inca version of the story continued to evolve long after the Spanish invasion of 1532. So the Incas also believed in a city of gold beyond Cusco. Could this be the same place the Spaniards called El Dorado? The Incas believed that they were descendants of a great hero called Incarre. He rose from the waters of Lake Titicaca to found Cusco and ended his days in Paititi, deep in the jungle. When the Spaniards heard this story, they began to search for Paititi, believing it must be the real El Dorado. They never found it. So even long before the Incas, ancient Peruvians were sacrificing gold into this lake. Gold was a symbol of their god, the sun. No wonder its value to them was spiritual, not monetary. I also find out that Lake Titicaca is even more important to my quest than I realized, because it's here, in the sacred high lakes of the Andes, that the legend of El Dorado actually began. Native people told stories of a great king who rode a golden raft into the lake. The king was so rich that he was covered in gold dust from head to toe. He would bathe in the lake and make golden offerings to the gods. The Spaniards called the king El Dorado, which means the Golden One. As the legend spread and caught fire, the Golden King became a golden city. But it's this story that inspired one of the world's most enduring obsessions. It was gold's ability to catch the rays of the sun that led the Incas to consider it sacred. They learned to shape the metal into beautiful patterns, but they never considered its monetary value until the arrival of the Spaniards in 1532. The conquistadors were led by an illiterate hustler named Francisco Pizarro. He was obsessed by the dream of El Dorado. Unscrupulous and crafty, he lured the Inca emperor into meeting with him, unarmed. It was a fatal mistake.
So what happened to all the gold?
Well, when the Spanish conquistador Francisco Pizarro entered the Inca Empire, he captured the Inca emperor, and the Inca emperor offered to fill a room full of gold and 2 rooms full of silver in exchange for his freedom.
So Pizarro captures the Incan king and holds him for ransom.
That's right.
Pizarro doubted the ransom could be fulfilled, but he gave Atahualpa 2 months for the gold to reach the line on the wall of his cell. he sent some of his own men to help collect the loot. For weeks, the gold arrived in Atahualpa's cell from all corners of the Inca Empire. But as the pile grew, Pizarro became apprehensive at the thought of letting his captive free. He decided to go back on his word and killed Atahualpa before the ransom was complete. The Spaniards destroyed the cultural treasures of the Incas. They melted the gold into ingots and divided the spoils. But legend has it that some treasure never reached the Spaniards before Atahualpa was killed. It's said that the Incas themselves took it away into the jungle, to the city called Paititi. No wonder the conquistadors kept looking for it. They united their empire with roads. The Incas built more than 15,000 miles of them. Messengers called chasti carried news and parcels from one corner of the empire to the other. A team of these runners could carry fresh fish from the Pacific to the emperor's table in Cusco, almost 300 miles in a single day. Hiram Bingham, a 35-year-old professor, was searching for a lost Inca city. After weeks of fruitless trekking through dense jungle, he was led by a native boy to an overgrown ruin on a mountaintop. It turned out to be Machu Picchu. I'm searching for El Dorado, the legendary city of gold known as Paititi here in Peru. A 400-year-old letter describes it as a 10-day journey from Cusco. Explorer Greg Diarmengian organized an expedition. We followed the ancient trails of the Incas over the Andes and down into the Amazon jungle. We're trying to slash our way through to the pyramids of Paratuari, to the search area we've identified as the best place to look for Paititi. Slashing through the jungle, I didn't realize how vast it is. It goes on for hundreds of miles. Suddenly, I see something unusual. Huge mounds that rise up in a way that doesn't look natural. These must be the pyramids of Paratuari. But are they really pyramids?
Well, they're shaped like pyramids. Whether they're real pyramids or not has been debated. Natural or man-made remains to be seen.
I'm dying to get down there and explore them, but they're so choked with jungle, I can barely make them out. Greg spent 4 days here and wasn't able to finish examining them. There's no place to land. I have to face it. This is as close as I'm going to get to those mysterious pyramids, at least for now.
They're great! Awesome. Yeah!
Greg says that the pyramids are probably a natural formation, but there's still a small chance that they could be man-made, maybe even a remnant of a lost city like Paititi. In any case, just this glimpse has given me a whole new perspective on what keeps the legend of El Dorado alive. For centuries, it was greed for gold that led the conquistadors to risk their lives in Peru's jungles. But for the explorers of today, it isn't gold. It's the thrill of discovery. It's finding something that's been lost to history and restoring its wonder for all to appreciate. That's a thrill I can understand.
was built by the divinities, by gods who saw fit to bestow. The gift of